Two Chairs No Waiting, episode number 212. Alma at the Mayberry Motor Inn. Two Chairs No Waiting is brought to you each week by the fine folks over at Weaver's Department Store. Drop by over at Weaver's and look for stuff for your favorite Mayberry fan. There is all kinds of stuff over at Weaver's. Just drop by there. It's almost Christmas time, or it's got to be close to a birthday or an anniversary or something. Drop by Weaver's and pick out something for your Mayberry fan. Two Chairs No Waiting is also brought to you by donations from listeners like you. The executive producer of episode number 212 is Steve Hinckley. Steve Hinckley. So, hey, Steve, thanks for supporting the Two Chairs No Waiting podcast. Can't thank you enough for that. And, folks, thank you for supporting me by being here with me this evening for Two Chairs No Waiting. I am your host, Allan Newsome, and it is wonderful to be in Mayberry again. I took a week off. After 4 years and 211 episodes, I finally took 1 week off and didn't do a podcast. Kind of felt lost, but I was gone on the Mayberry cruise, a cruise to Mayberry number 7, the 2012 version. And it was a great time. Everybody had a great time. And Tuesday night, when the podcast would have been coming out, we were doing the Mayberry Variety Show there on the Carnival. Destiny was the name. Destiny. It was her. She will be going into dry dock in February and being renamed when she comes back. So we were on one of the last cruises of Carnival's Destiny, and it was a lot of fun. Great show. Had a great time doing the show, just visiting with the fans that were on the cruise. We had probably around 200 people that were on the cruise with us, and it was a blast. So I definitely want to encourage you. They are going to do a cruise in 2013. So if you're listening to this, before then, you should be able to sign up and go with us. And you can go to allaboutcruisesnc.net is what it is, and look at that. Or you can just go to facebook.com and go facebook.com/Mayberry Cruise. And the information should be there too. So hopefully these will keep going for a while longer. We've been doing them for 7 years now, and they are a lot of fun. It is a wonderful time to get to visit with Mayberry fans. And another wonderful time visiting with Mayberry fans was one I got to have as well. I got to go the week after Mayberry Days in 2012. I was lucky enough to get to head up to Mount Airy, North Carolina again that next weekend and visit with some great folks up there. Now, if you listen to episode 211, or if you haven't, head back over there. We got to visit with Debbie and Darrel Miles that own the Mayberry on Main. We got to visit with them. And this week, even more fun continues as Kenneth, Junkin and I were able to sit down in the back of the Mayberry Motor Inn and visit with the owner of the Mayberry Motor Inn, Alma Venable. We had a wonderful time sitting back there, and I believe you're going to really enjoy the information that we were able to glean from Alma, because she has all kinds of stuff. She's lived in Mount Airy for a long time, and she has all kinds of information that I believe you are going to enjoy. So rather than me keep talking, let's head over and hear from Alma. All right, we're here at the Mayberry Motor Inn in Mount Airy, North Carolina, sitting back here with Alma Venable and Otis. Kenneth Junkin's in here with us as well. And we're just going to visit a little bit and find out. Alma, it's good to have you with us.
Well, it's good to be with you.
Yeah, so how long have you been running the Motor Inn now?
Well, we came here in 1967.
That's when you started the Motor Inn?
That's how long we've been here.
Wow, 45 years? Wow, that's awesome. So, and what's it been like? Because I know you have Mayberry fans that drop by here and visit with you and everything. So,
well, to me, it's home. When we came here, I told my husband, I said, if we're going to do this for the rest of our life, we're going to make it comfortable enough to where we will want to stay here. Well, we made it so comfortable we didn't want to leave. So here I am.
Well, so has it always been the same size? Have y'all grown?
The motel is basically the same size, but we've built a lot of rooms to our quarters. We've built 3 rooms onto the motel, and there's about 9 rooms back here.
Oh, okay. Oh, so that's to make you comfortable.
That's right, yeah.
Well, I don't blame you.
You can't work unless you're comfortable.
That's right. Well, I remember the first time I came, it was in 1993, and Mayberry Days was that, coming up that fall, and my wife and I, we asked Jim Clark or somebody, where do y'all stay up there? And he said, well, the Mayberry Motor Inn. So we called, and y'all had a room, and we got it. Well, little did I know that it's almost impossible to get a room here during Mayberry Days. And so since 1993, I've had a room reserved on an annual basis to try to make sure I get in to the Motor Inn.
Most people do that. We just book from year to year. We book the same people back in the same room. We've only lost 2, and my husband was one of them, and Jim Swanky was the other.
That's right. Yeah, Jim Swanky. Well, we give out the Jim Swanky Award every year too.
Well, now we've lost Doug, so that's 3.
Doug Dillard. Mm-hmm. That's right. I tell you, every year it is the same because you come back. It's like coming to a family reunion for me.
It is for us too. We always look forward to it.
It's awesome because you see the same people, and you've got this wonderful gazebo that you've got out here, and the flowers and. I mean, it is like coming home and visit. We go out and sit in the gazebo at night and visit with one another. And, it's a very busy weekend during Mayberry Days. And the problem is we don't get enough sleep because we want to visit with everybody instead of going to sleep.
That's right. I love Mayberry Days. I love everything about it.
Well, is Mayberry Days, is it different than the other times of the year, or is there always Mayberry people coming through here?
Well, there's always Mayberry people coming through here. A lot of them stumble on it. They don't know about it. But the people that come during Mayberry Days, we have, just learned to love. They're our friends, and it's a little special.
It is. It is for me, but I don't live here either. I'm not always here. So now, okay, have you always just worked at the Motor Inn? You used to do something else, right?
I started out as a beautician. A hairdresser. I started out at the age of 17. I married at 17, had a child at 19, and then I've worked ever since.
Wow. So now I've heard you tell before that as a hairdresser you used to cut Andy's mother's hair?
Yes, I did. Back in the 60s when she lived here, she patronized my shop, and I had a shop. Greenfront was the first shop I had, the second shop I had. Then I moved my shop to my home, and so she moved with me. But she moved to California in the 60s, and then I moved the same year to Winston-Salem for a year. But she was a very special lady, and she loved Andy. And when she'd come into the shop, she'd say, now I can't talk about Andy, because he thinks I'm bragging about him, and the local people, he don't want them to think that I'm, bragging.
Putting on airs or something.
And so she would tell me stories. She'd say that Andy had called the night before, but he couldn't get through because the operators was plugging in, that had the old system, and so that would deaden the sound, and so he'd say, Mama, I can't hear you. So the next day it'd be the same thing. So then he'd get in touch with the president of the company, and it'd lighten up for a while. I guess that's probably where Sarah came in, and the operators patronized my shop too. So I knew a little bit about what Andy was talking to Nene about.
That's awesome. So the operators were plugging in to listen in to their conversation.
Yes, they say, Andy's on the line, and the other ones say, Andy's on the line, and so it went down the line, Other calls could wait, but they wanted to hear what Andy had to say.
Oh, so then it was, because the volume would go down. You wouldn't be able to hear it.
Went in with the old tip and ring board, all analog. The more phones on the
lower the volume
lowers the volume.
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, that's an awesome story. I don't think I'd heard that.
So he was trying out a movie starring Debbie Reynolds.
Yeah.
And so he called his mom and dad and said, now, Mama, keep this under your hat because I think I'm going to get this part with Debbie Reynolds. And he said, "Don't you tell it so." She said, "I won't." But the next day it was in the Mount use.
But she didn't. Oh, well, yeah, she didn't tell the operators.
The operators, I knew all about it.
Sarah, yeah. Sarah,
she would.
Yeah.
So we just had good conversations about Andy, and he lived in Manio then. He had his house that he has now. I think he's built a new one now. But he loved the ocean.
Okay, so now you'd said that Andy's mom moved out to California. Was that because of Andy?
Yes, so that he moved his parents out there so they could be near him. The older they got, I guess he knew that they would need some special care. And the little Corvair that she drove is in the picture in Aunt Bee's room, the one that she drove while she was here.
Well, now that's something we want to talk about, Aunt Bee's room. Now, Aunt Bee's room, if you haven't been to the Mayberry Motor Inn, they have an entire room that's full of, some of it's the furniture from Aunt Bee's estate sale, right? That's Francis Bovier's.
Mm-hmm. Yes, well, this is how it started out that I'm Aunt Bee. We went to the sale, and they had a tag sale, so I asked my husband, "What are we going to get? Are we going to get anything?" And he says, "Don't matter to me," so he went to sleep. So I sat up and thought, well, I believe, since our daughter was expecting twins, I believe I'll get the bedroom suit. I'll tag that. So that's what we brought back, was the Louis XVI bedroom suit. And so then we put it in a showcase downtown for the first year, and then when I'd step out of the building, one of the ladies would say, "Aunt Bee, come on, tell them about where you got your bedroom suit. Tell them all about it." So that's where the Aunt Bee came from. Then Andy's mother would have me she would say, "I want you to write notes. Anything that Andy can use on the show, he's always looking for good material." And she said, "Especially unusual names." And I said, "Well, I think we got unusual names." She said, "Put it down." So he helped write The Ghost of Mr. Chicken. And my name is Alma, and his was Luther Parker. So in the leading lady, she was Alma Parker, and Don Knotts was Luther. And then also on another show, there was a gazebo. And when we built the gazebo, we didn't know anything about this, but the show that they had the band and they played at the gazebo, Goober and Gomer had to clean up from under it. And they said, I think Andy said, "Did you find anything on the gazebo?" "Nothing but old Miss Venable's skull." And so then my brother's name was Frank, and it was used. Also, the names of the people around here was what fascinated me. Mm-hmm. That tells me that he had a love for Mount Airy. He had a love for the people that he went to school with and he grew up with. Now, Moody's funeral home, they used Moody's. Right. There was a big man, huge man, named Tiny Reniger, but they called him Tiny. So he had Reniger on this show.
All right, folks, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was Alma. Now, that's just part one. We've got other parts of this that we'll be bringing back to you over the next week or so, where we're going to hear some more from Alma. And I thought that was very interesting about LP. I knew LP, obviously. He passed away a few years ago. But LP was Luther Parker. I didn't know that. And Alma Venable, obviously. And then on The Ghost of Mr. Chicken, they used the names Alma Parker and Luther. I thought, hey, that's pretty neat. So I don't think I had ever heard that story. If I had, it never really registered with me. But you heard some of the other things, too, that they talked about, that Alma was talking about, that was Mayberry mentions, or Andy Griffith in some form mentions, as well as stuff that's real right there in Mount Airy, North Carolina, bringing realism right to the show. So I think that's really cool. I've got a voicemail here from Jerry And let's go ahead and hear this. This is about last week's episode with the Miles. He talks about that and plus some other stuff where he ran across some Mayberry folks in other shows. So let's hear from Jerry.
Allan, this is Jerry from Coleman. Hope you're enjoying your cruise. I just wanted to share something with you. I was watching that classic movie Inherit to Win with Spencer Tracy last night, and two Mayberryites were there. Emmett played a court clerk, and Clara Edwards Johnson played an irate town person. I also saw the Hat Lady on Gunsmoke at a square dance, and I saw Mr. Finch, a shoe salesman, on the highway patrol. It's always nice to see Mayberryites in other places. Hope you're enjoying your cruise. Enjoy your show.
Hey, thanks, Jerry. I appreciate that. And thanks for calling in and leaving that information. It's always fun to see, and people do it all the time on the Who's Been Messing Up the Bulletin Board Digest, the daily email digest you can get delivered right to your mailbox. If you go to imayberry.com, you can click on the newsletters link. You'll be able to see it right there on the front page, right on the very front of the sites, right there, newsletters. It'll take you where you can go and subscribe to the Who's Been Messing Up the Bulletin Board Digest. You can also head over to the iMayberry community. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, but over at the iMayberry community, they talk about this kind of stuff a lot too, where they're talking about running into other characters from the Andy Griffith Show on other shows. So go over to imayberrycommunity.com. Join up. We got about 530 people over there now visiting and enjoying one another's company. Definitely want to encourage you to head over there and visit with us. But Jerry, hey, thanks for the heads up on that. And folks, I hope you really enjoyed hearing from Alma. Alma is a great lady. Again, she's the owner of the Mayberry Motor Inn, and you can visit the Mayberry Motor Inn's website by going to mayberrymotorin.com. A link will be in the show notes for that as well. And you can look around. There's pictures. There's information about how to make a reservation, contact information, all kinds of stuff there. And it's located at 501 Andy Griffith Parkway North in Mount Airy, North Carolina. So I definitely want to encourage you to drop by their website and check it out. And if you're in Mount Airy, give it a stay. Go stay there. It's a lot of fun. The Alma and her family are very likely to be there, and you'll be able to visit with them and tell them Floyd said hey if you do. And it's just like staying with family every time I go to Mount Airy. So we'll hear some more from Alma next week. So that's a little teaser. So keep listening for episode 213, where we'll hear a little bit more from Alma. And folks, hey, that's all I have for you tonight. I want to encourage you to give me a call at 888-684-8415. Leave a comment like Jerry did. Appreciate that, Jerry. Or you can drop by the Two Chairs No Waiting website, and there's a link right there on the sides. If you have a mic on your computer, you can leave a voicemail like that. You can also email me at floyd@imayberry.com. You can go to facebook.com, facebook.com/2chairs, and it'll take you right to our fan page. You can leave messages there, and I'll get it. Lots of ways to get in touch with me, folks, and I love hearing from you. So until next week, you guys have a great Mayberry week, and I'll see you here on Two Chairs No Waiting. Bye, guys.